once again, another episode of The World is Burning. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I think the world's probably going to collapse in 2024, 2025, and I just want to kind of document that with this YouTube channel. Give us a follow if you want to join along and see where we're at in 12 months' time, but I don't think it's going to be great. Today we're looking at the US student loan crisis. Yes, it is a crisis. Yes, it's out of control. Just a bit of info for you here before we get into the videos. Americans now owe 1.7 trillion in student loan debt. Absolutely, it's just so high that. Biden's talking about forgiving 430 billion. I don't think that's going to come through. So I wouldn't be basing your life around that. Work on the fact that it's probably not gonna happen. Another quick one for you here. Average tuition fees for undergraduates. Let's look from 1963 to 2020. We don't even have it all the way up to 2023 yet. Used to be $5,000, just under $5,000. Makes sense. You know, that makes sense to me. That stays pretty steady. And then when Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac start getting involved, it starts ratcheting it up. And now, just for the average for a 4-year school per year, we're looking at $17,000. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. This is a bit of a crazy map. Let's look at this from 2000 to 2020. This is where we start seeing these private non-profit 4-year schools start going up to 30, 35, 36K. Absolutely outrageous. And as we can see here, 92% of student loan debt is federal, with interest rates ranging from 5.5 to 8%. When you start hitting that 8%, you're looking at death there. But the private student loans, they range from 4.5 to almost 17%. So if you're getting a $200,000 loan 4 years at school, you leave with $200,000 at 17%. You are in a bad situation, in a very bad situation there. And just a little bit more information on it before we get into the video, the main bulk of the video. Roughly 8 million Americans are now defaulting on their federal student loans. Not good there, not good there. The more you default on your student loans, it's going to wreck your credit score and it's going to put you in a bad position for life. So let's jump into some of these. Standard format. I haven't seen any of these videos either. Let's have a quick look. Let's start.
If you're thinking
here.
about paying all of your student loans off, maybe just like hold off for 2 seconds. This year, I paid off all of my student loans. Yay, right? You would think. But no, like even when you think you're doing everything right, somehow in this financial system, it bites you in the butt. Okay, let me just explain to you what happened. When you take out student loans, you start developing credit. At some point, someone is going to ask you what your credit score is, whether you're trying to take out a loan to buy a house, or whether you're trying to get approved for an apartment, take out a loan on a car, etc. So anyways, fast forward, I'm like $30,000 in debt. I decide, you know what? I'm gonna work my butt off to pay off all of those loans in this.
And this is the mindset you need to be in. If you have a 5-figure debt, you have to work your butt off and get that down as quick as possible. Throw everything at it, throw the kitchen sink at it, and tackle them. So shout out to Kay Kilbride. You're got the right mindset.
I paid them all off. Now, logically in your brain, you'd be like, she paid off all of her debt. Her credit score is gonna skyrocket, right? No, it tanked. Now, why? This is why I get so frustrated. Part of your credit score establishes credit history. So my student loans were my oldest account, but I just closed that account. So now I don't have 8 years of credit history, maybe I have 7. And what they say online is they want to say like, oh, we just want to see that you're a responsible borrower and that you can return money on time. And so we don't want you to make a big payment all at once, because that shows that we can't expect how you're going to return our money, right? The reason why they don't want you to pay that back all at once is because they earn interest while you're in debt.
Yeah, the credit system is a scam. They try and keep you to keep these credit cards and debts open. They say if you close them all off, your credit history is going to be affected and your credit score is going to go down. So keep those open with us and just keep paying interest on your debts. It's nonsense. Pay it all off. Take the hit on the credit. It will come back in time. A bit like what this girl here said. Your credit will go back off. I paid 100K last year. My credit score went down 30 points, but it's now up 60, especially if you're buying a house. Shout out this girl paying off 100K in debt. What a beast.
So you'd think, congratulations, you just paid off all your student loans. Your credit score should go up. They're like, no, we're losing out on money because you're no longer in debt. Anyways, if I could go back and do it all differently, maybe I would go and pay like almost all of it except for $1. Just let that sit there. Disclaimer, that's not actually the solution. At some point, you're going to have to close that account, but man, the system sucks.
Agreed, the system does suck. Jaeger Phoenix, credit score is a joke. Couldn't agree more with you, buddy.
So this American is super pissed. We have spent countless billions bailing out rich people, banks, etc. every time there's some kind of a failure. We spent billions in PPP loans that were totally forgiven to people who were defrauding the system and already very wealthy. The average American is struggling their ass off. I'm struggling my ass off. I'm full-time self-employed. I'm a tattooer. And in addition to that, I also hold down a second full-time job because the cost of living is fucking insane and we're all drowning in debt just trying to keep our heads above water. I'm so sick of the wealthy getting every little favor and everything. What the fuck are we paying taxes for? And at the same time, I'm sole provider for a family of 3, so I'm not going to do anything drastic because I can't afford to be in jail. But I also can't afford to pay this shit. So here's my creative, fun plan. I will be mailing a $1 check on time every month ahead of time to make sure that it's noted as a good faith payment towards each of my student loans. There's about 15 federal ones. I took out $100,000 close to 15 years ago. It's 2007, and I've been paying them ever since before I technically had to start paying them, and I still owe almost as much as I took out. Every month's been a struggle since I went to school. The 2008 market.
Yeah, just gonna pause this here. I feel for this guy Jacob here. Yeah, you're told from a young age the only way is to go to college, and you're a failure if you don't go to college. This, that, and the other. I think it's time everyone starts reevaluating that, seeing what these schools are actually about, what the degree will actually get you, and you should really be doing an ROI calculation. How much is this school going to cost me, and what jobs can I get? What wages can I get on the back of that? And if it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up, and don't do it. You don't want to be in a situation like this guy. I feel for the dude. He's stuck in so much debt. It doesn't matter if he's got a good job. He's still going to be paying, and he's got this hanging over him. So yeah,
A year into my school journey, didn't help anything. One of my private loans started with Wachovia. They folded. They got bought out by Wells Fargo, who mismanaged my shit entirely, and now it's been sold off to a third bank, Firstmark Services. So this is just super awesome that we everyday people who work our asses off to take care of our people, keep a roof over our heads, just don't get any fucking help at all, ever. And it's sickening. So I'm going to send $1 to each of my federal loans every month in a check, in a separately mailed envelope. 15 checks I'll send out every month to make sure I get a $1 good faith payment on every single loan that I owe from here on out. Because fuck you, government. I'm not going to make it easy. I'm not. You're not making anything easy on the people who actually pay the taxes in this country. And so why should we make anything easy on you? That's where my thoughts are. That's my strategy. That's what I'm going to do. I have no idea what that's going to do, except maybe make my my loan more expensive to service than it's worth it. I think we all need to find creative ways to make our displeasure known because.
yeah. Shout out to this guy's getting creative here. I don't know how it's going to affect you in the long run, brother, but I wish you all the best. Yeah. Here's the thing: big business always gets bailed out. The people at the bottom pay the taxes that bail it out, and you're still stuck with the bill for your student loans, for everything that goes wrong. You are stuck for the bill. You foot the bill in the form of taxes to the government, and they just piss it up the wall. So yeah, shout out this guy.
Let me just say this. I don't care what the Supreme Court decides about this federal student loan forgiveness thing, because it's at the Supreme Court now, and I think we all know what they're going to say because they're worthless and they hate our generation. But it doesn't matter to me because I'm never, ever paying that money back.
Just gonna pause this here. Yeah, it's gone to the Supreme Court. They kicked it down. It's probably gonna go up again. Um, I don't think full student debt forgiveness is the solution. No one's going to get on board with that, not everybody. What they definitely need to do is sort these interest rates out. Like, you shouldn't be paying interest on these bills. They need to just wipe that straight away. And it needs to go back historically. So if you had a 50 grand bill, 50 grand loan, and you've already paid 60 grand, which some people have, and they still haven't paid it off because there's all these interests, they need to wipe that. That's like the best solution, I think.
Ever. You guys said I wouldn't have to pay it back, and no take backsies. Yeah, the government will never be seeing that money. It's just simply not happening. And I don't really care what the consequences of it are. What are you gonna do? Lower my credit score? So I can't, what, buy a house? Buy a house? This economy. Be so fucking for real with me right now. I wasn't gonna buy a house anyway. And just... the only people who can buy a house right now are people who don't have student debt because their parents paid for everything. And that's not me. So...
Yeah, it's quite sad. I'm seeing a lot of these videos now where young kids, she must be less than 25, definitely less than 30. She's already resigned herself to the fact that she's never going to own a house, never going to buy a house. And that's just a sad state of affairs because buying houses, that's kind of the only wealth generation method that's kind of true and tested. And that's kind of going away right now. So it's sad to see young people feeling like that. Really sad.
Okay, this is my first TikTok rant. This is super fucking hard to do, but I'm tired of crinkly old men that went to school in the 70s telling everybody that they just need to get a job to get through college. Okay, motherfucker, I had a job all the way through college. I had a $10 per hour job from 2014 to 2017 where I was working 30 to 35 hours per week, and I was taking 18 credits per semester, regular semesters, 6 to 9 credits in the summer semesters, and still working just as much. I had a scholarship that paid for half of my tuition. I lived at home with my parents the entire time, rent-free, and I still ended up with $22,000 of student loan debt. No, my parents couldn't help me except for letting me live at home rent-free, and I am privileged to have that experience. All of my income went to...
Yeah, shout out to all the people living at home. If you have a good situation and your parents are letting you live home rent-free, milk that for all it's worth. Stack your cash whilst that's going on. Don't be silly thinking, oh, I've got this spare money, I can just live the life. No, see it as like, I'm putting 3 years in, putting 2 years in, putting 4 years in. I'm living at home with my parents. I'm slumming it, and I'm saving all that extra cash for the next step of my life.
Working, feeding myself, and any additional books and fees that I needed to pay for school. What are people supposed to do in this situation? No, I'm not against student loan forgiveness because this was hard as fuck.
Shout out Alyssa, that's a stressed woman right there. I feel like she's been shafted a little bit, like majority of students in the last 10, 20, 30 years. Stay strong, stay strong.
So for anyone who wonders what it's like having student loans in the US, I'm going to tell you a story. I have about $50,000 owed in student loans, and I have my degree. I have a great job now where I get benefits. But when I was 18, I couldn't take out $50,000 by myself, so my dad is the co-signer on all of my loans. And
just going to pause this here. Yeah, the Parent Plus loans, I've been reading into them and having your parents co-sign on these loans. That seems like one of the craziest things that I've researched, really. Kids 18 years old, they get told to go to a university. They go to the university, they can't afford it all. They get the parents to sign on for it. And then they're on the hook. They're literally on the hook for the loan as well. So yeah, it's looking to the Parent Plus loans, kind of wild.
I was filling out my benefits through my work through 2021, and I needed a beneficiary for my life insurance policy. And I have a domestic partner, so I was thinking, well, maybe he should be the beneficiary to take care of, anything that could happen if I pass. But then I realized if I pass, my dad will still owe on my student loans. So I made my dad the beneficiary so he can pay off my student loans and then pay for my funeral if I happen to pass away this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you look into American student loans, it's the one that you can't go bankrupt with, and it follows you everywhere. And when you do these Parent Plus loans, it's attached to the parents' houses. So there's some horror stories out there of parents losing their houses and things like that. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
College loans you can't even declare bankruptcy to get out of. That gives you a piece of paper that does not map to anything that's going on in the real world. Zero. Other than the lawyers, doctors. I know the cliche shit, but I'm talking business, and you're not watching this for lawyer shit. You are watching this and you are collecting debt to go to college to be a business person. Quit right now. Send this email to mom. Sorry, mom. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Gary Vee fan, but yeah, he's kind of spitting some facts here right now. It's like, before you sign up and take these loans on and go to an institution, assess all the options, do an ROI on all the options, see what's going to get you the best return on investment, what you're going to be most happy with. And college might not be the answer for you. There are other avenues that you can go down. Sorry, not sorry. Yes, and the interest rates on these loans is astronomical. That's the thing people don't talk about. Yeah, the college is outrageously priced as is, but it's these interest rates that are just absolutely shellacking people. So yeah, be very careful and know what the interest rates are before you sign on to anything.
Get ready with me as I talk about why I took up student loans as an international student here in the US. So I finished my bachelor's degree in the Philippines as a health sciences student, and then I realized I didn't want to go to med school anymore. I ended up working in various startups as marketing. As I pursued the marketing field, I realized that this wasn't enough, because in the Philippines, they really cared about your degree, because no matter how much I applied to bigger companies, they just wouldn't see the fact that, I can do marketing despite having a health sciences degree. I told my dad, what if I do grad school in the US? He said we couldn't afford it. Maybe if you can wait 2 more years, I'm gonna try my best to save up money. If I keep waiting for you, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to grad school, because we will never be financially ready. I read about posts or people's experiences. It was basically a lot of horror stories. I would hear, students getting into $1 million debt. I saw student loans as a tool to be able to gain long-term financial stability. Because think of it this way, a lot of businesses take up business loans to be able to fund their startup costs. And then I decided to research student loan lenders. So the best way to do that is to contact the school that you applied for and ask them what student loan lenders have previous students done in the past. As international students, our options are kind of limited, and some of the requirements are having a US-based cosigner. And the funniest thing was, I contacted one of my cousins in the States. We absolutely have no relationship or whatsoever. When I asked for her permission to sign, she asked me so many questions, and I responded back with a full-on deck just to show her that these are my career options after studying, and this is what my plan was in case plan A, plan B, plan.
Just gonna pause this here, guys. This girl switched on. Shah, shout out Shah. She even put together a slide deck with all her options. Now, I don't. She sounds like she was a bit stuck here and had to get a US person to co-sign. I'm not a believer in co-signing for anyone else, because you just can't trust anyone else, even though she seems like a nice girl. It's nice someone was doing this for her, but what I really like is she had plan A, plan B, plan C. She must have done a bit of an ROI, known what salary she can get from these positions, how much it's going to cost her. So yeah, shout out her for being a bit proactive with that.
Doesn't work out. Long story short, I was able to kind of show her who I really was and how responsible I was, and in the end, she agreed to sign my student loans. And August of 2018 came, I flew to the US. I'm still paying for it, but I definitely believe that if I did not take up student loans, I would not have had the career that I have today. So if you're contemplating on getting student loans yourself, ask yourself, are you emotionally ready? Are you determined? Do you have backup plans A, B, C up to E or F? And if yes, then go for it. It's a risk, given that finding a job in the US is extremely difficult and challenging, but life is too short to not try. And there you have it. I hope that helps.
Yeah, shout out this girl. I'm a big fan of the planning. I'm a big fan of the ROIs. Plus, she said she was in health sciences, so I'm sure she could get like a decent 6-figure job off the back of that. So it made sense for her. Managed to get someone to co-sign, and it sounds like she's paying. So shout out to her. We'll do one more, and then we'll get off. Leave me a comment though, guys. I'd love to know what university you went to in America. Are you on private? Are you on Pell? Are you on federal loans? And tell me the interest rate. I genuinely want to know.
America's student loan crisis is far from over. Even if the president fully forgives all student loans today, the U.S. will return to today's level of debt by 2039, according to one bipartisan analysis. Experts say this country is overdue for some large-scale reforms to rein in the cost of college. And
just going to pause this here. Yes, if you actually look into colleges and how much money they have in the bank in just pure cash, they are all so rich. It would blow your mind. In fact, I'll do a video about that where you can see exactly how much money they've got in cash reserves. And every year they put up the price 5, 6, 7% per year for tuition. And you've got to ask yourself, does the quality of the college go up 5, 6% every single year? Probably not, especially not right now. So I think it's just one big scam these days, and they're hitting this parabolic growth in the price of college, whilst they have humongous cash reserves as well. So yeah, they need to put some caps on this stuff and rein it back.
Many of the predatory practices that have contributed to this mountain of debt. When I went to Howard, I paid a little less than $10,000 a year, adjusted for inflation. Now, the tuition alone is listed at $28,000. The estimated...
And we're supposed to be in 5, 6, 7% inflation? Yeah, that makes sense. I'm serious. Point me out to something that has only increased 5, 6, 7% in price year on year. It doesn't happen.
Cost to attend, close to $50,000. It's important to note that most students aren't paying even close to that amount. Many private, nonprofit colleges mark their prices up really high and then give out a lot of aid. But at public universities, government funding has gone way down in a lot of states, and that's being made up for in tuition prices. And then there's for-profit colleges. Recently, the Education Department forgave billions in loans for students misled by ITT Tech, one in a growing number of piecemeal student debt cancellations. But evidence of misconduct doesn't end there. Two programs created to provide some relief to borrowers both suffered under years of mismanagement by the government and its contract.
Mismanagement by the government? I don't believe that. They've never mismanaged anything.
Multiple states filed suit against one loan service provider for giving bad information and even processing payments incorrectly. While many Americans are celebrating life-changing reductions in their debt,
yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. I think she's right on the money here. There needs to be some reform because we can't keep going like this. People are just going to stop going to colleges, and it's going to change what a college degree actually means. Like I said, leave me a comment. I really want to know what you guys are going through right now. Let me know what your student loan is, what the interest is, and if it's private, federal, and what college you're going to. Genuinely would love to know that stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next time, guys. Bye.